Alrighty. So let us get cracking. They're coming. Well, they're not here, so I must wait for them. You guys, when you get to your exam and you haven't finished units, don't say it was the teacher that was- it was us waiting. Oh, do they not know that we're starting at 9? Yeah, they know when what time we're starting. I can't wait for other kids. I must be serious with those who are on time.
Hey, sir, we not serious.
Yeah. Otherwise, you lose out. Those of you who are here when you're supposed to be here. This is why. Have you seen what I always ask? Whenever we get to class, I ask those who are here. I say, "Do you want us to start?" Because you've respected yourselves. And sorry, I'm not really trying to shame others, but I'm just being honest. I have to. I have to.
Yeah, we still do fine.
Even if it's one student, I have to ask, do you want me to have class? Because the whole thing is, I need to give you the value of your money. But at the same time, it's also discouraging if you want, because who am I? So you might even be like, I cool. So that's why I'll say, do you want to have a class? Because I don't want to make it weird. Yeah? They're too much. What, are they more than last semester? Do we have more sessions than last semester? Should be the same amount.
Isn't it always the same amount?
Next year, your financial management is going to be a 72. Now I think it's about 60 something session. So it's more
Yay.
than
Do
30.
we use that?
I don't think so.
Come on.
No, but I said that I would be for 2B. I've never done third year. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind. I would love to do it. But yeah, they have their lecturer there, so we'll see. So now we obviously want to finish off. Yes. Mm. So no. It's not one of those things you just do. Right. So going back to this. You can just say, and this is what I thought Ash was asking this. You can just say 79,200 times 62.5%. You can't do that. But remember, in essence, so let's say we're calculating the credit portion or the cash portion for January purchases. So we know that our sales for January is actually 158. By coincidence, it's the same amount as December, right? Now, you could just say 62% of the cash portion to get your cash purchases. But then the reality is, in the question, they told you 62.5% of total sales. Does that make sense? So if we did not have 50% cash and 50% credit as well, there's a good chance if you practice like this, and in the next question, you don't have the same conditions. Maybe it's 40% cash, 60% on the sales side, and then let's say 30% and 70% on the credit side. You're not going to get the same numbers. So I was just taking you through this because this is consistently going to get you to the right answer. Does that make sense? So that's why I was telling her also. I know she raised a question. I don't know if it's the same question that she actually wanted to know. But yes, and that's why I was telling her, you are right, because you are going to get to the right answer. But consistently, that's where you might start having problems. Makes sense. And remember, in the question, they said 62.5% of sales, not 62.5% of credit or cash sales. So can you see how that makes a difference? All right. Sorry, I saw your hand. Move this side, the other side. Should I zoom out, zoom in? Are we happy? For this question, over here, okay? Over here, what are you asking? This portion was cash, and we know that the cash portion of the purchases was dealt with in December. And we know that the credit portion we are settling in January. Okay, this was only the credit portion. We didn't actually do the cash portion together for January. The cash portion for January, again, we'll have to say how much were our total sales for January. So it goes back to this calculation that we did over here. So I'm going to erase this. And January we said was 25%, isn't it, of the budgeted sales. This is January sales. So how much was that? What total do we get? I want us to go through this together. 25% of there should be times here. In case my online. Is it?
158.
158.
400.
400. Again, this is total sales for January. Okay? Isn't. That needs to be split between cash and credit, which you know is 50-50. So this will be, is it 99? Again, no. How much is this going to be? No. I clearly must stay away from mental maths. And I think I'll actually show you guys what question. 79200. Okay, and then here it's going to be 79200. Okay, right. Remember what they said in the question? They said cost of sales is 62.5%. Now we can simply say, okay, to get our cash purchases, right? We can simply say, this is where your questions are coming. Say times 62.5. Okay, right, to get the cash portion. And what do you get? In fact, I'll just tell you now. You're going to get the 49.
49,500.
Okay, but again, even principally speaking, this is wrong. Because you're getting to the right amount. And this is, I'm just reiterating what I've already explained to you, but just making sure we all follow and providing with the numbers. They said of sales, not of cash sales. So in this question, you do get to the right answer. So again, I was just obviously following the steps. So that you can see now the calculation will obviously be the same. So 62.5%, 62.5%, and then you get your 99, and then we obviously know. So I'm just going to erase this so we can really also understand. So again, we're saying that we were working off of January sales. So then this is obviously January cash purchases. Okay. And this is January credit purchases, this right here, which we know is only going to get settled in the following month, that being Feb. Okay. All right. And then if we go back to our schedule, you'll see in green, when it came to the January, I highlighted the cash purchases. And then obviously, whilst doing that calculation, we're also working out what we're only settling in February, which is 50%. So it's the same amount. Okay. And can you see, if you look at the other months, you see the cash portion there, the 69,300, it's the same credit portion that only gets settled in March, the following month. Can you see that? Okay, I'm just taking my time with this because this is critical. If we get the schedules wrong, then the cash budget is going to be wrong. Okay, there you can you see the consistency? 50%, 50%. Okay, so is everybody happy? Yes. Now, okay, all right, perfect. So you've actually done the heavy lifting. This is the harder part, and this is why I was saying it's just a little bit more technical, right, than how we were doing our schedules in 2A, but it's the same thing. Okay, so now we then go to our budget. Okay, and this you will actually not have. These things here you will not have. So let me do this actually. Okay, no, I'll actually leave it. Okay, it's fine. So remember this 333, we got it from the opening balance on the bank account. That's where that's coming from in January. Okay. Oh, sorry. It actually says the following balances appear in the books of Latino dealers on 31 December. Okay. So it was the closing balance for December, which then is the opening balance for January. Okay. All right. So that's where that's coming from. Then the rest, the numbers you see, we have actually calculated in the schedules. So I know some of you might have taken a picture of the schedules. We could just share them on the group. Here you can see cash sales for January, 79,200. Happiness. So it's a copy and paste job. Are you seeing that? Receipts from debtors. In other words, the credit sales, 73,260. All right. That is the total that we've received from our debtors in the month of January. Copy and paste job. Total cash available. All right. So we're adding the opening balance from our bank account. We're adding the cash sales and we're adding the credit sales. And that's how we're getting the 488,000. Can you see that? Then we go on to say, okay, but how much did we spend? How much money left us? Now we're looking at the schedules for our purchases. Is it making sense? Okay, so then we say, okay, so this is a total, né? That's an estimate total. So cash purchases, how much was it? The 49,500. All right, awesome stuff. Then payments to creditors, how much did we actually pay in January to creditors? 49,500. And then they added that up together, and that should actually be more than. But I think I know where.
You're missing sales commission.
Yes, sales commission, which is 10%. Remember in the additional information, they said. Oh, so actually we have to finish all of them to get that total outflow, isn't it? All of the expenses, isn't it? Okay. So here, let's do it together. Maybe let's finish off January, then we see 10% of sales. What was our sales in January? Total sales, yes. By 10%. So 0.10 times how much? What did we say total? 50? 15,840.
She's talking about the 10%.
Oh, okay. That's why I was just curious. Okay, I thought she was talking about the total sales. No, but that's fine. Okay, so copy and paste that there. Okay. Right.
Salaries was the 7,200 times 3.
Okay, yes. So salaries we said each person is 7,200 times 3. So let me do this. Okay. And then we obviously, from the additional information, what point was that? That was 0.3. Thank you. So this is going to be the same amount in each month, isn't? Because they didn't tell us in February we hired 2 more office staff, which they can do in your exam or your test. Okay, so just be mindful of that. So I'm just copying and pasting that in now, so we don't need to do it later. Okay, everybody happy there? Then income tax. When did they say we need to pay income tax? It's in March, so that's why we have the dashes there. And how much was the income tax? 14,500. 400. Sorry. Okay. All righty. Right. Then we obviously had the hire purchase. All right. We know that the hire purchase, when did we buy the vehicle? On 1 Feb, isn't? Yeah. All right. So January, obviously, we don't have anything relating to the hire purchase of the vehicle. Okay, that's why there's a dash there. Now,
You must recall the deposit, sir,
yeah.
which is 32,400 times 1/30.
You said it's how much?
32,400 times 1/3. I mean 1/3.
Oh, yes, a third basically.
Yeah, a third. It says 1/3.
So when you say 1 divided by 3, I think you get 0.333 reoccurring. Okay, so let's just quickly go 0. Just leave it at that.
Should be 10,800.
Yeah, so we can just round off to 10,800. And when did we pay that deposit? When we went to go buy it, isn't?
1 February.
Yes. So then 10,800.
Installments, dividends, what's that?
Remember, there was a declaration. In fact, we can even just call this dividends, because I think installments will confuse us. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And that was in March, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was in March, right? Yes, the dividends. And the dividend. Yeah, we didn't. Sorry, I got carried away. Sorry. So to calculate that. Sorry. Yay. So to calculate the installments, remember they said the total cost was the 32,400, isn't? Okay. But we've obviously paid a deposit, isn't? So minus 10,800. All right. And then we have to divide that by 24 months, because we're paying this over 24 months. And when is the first installment?
March.
In March. Okay, so
You need an extra column, don't you, sir? No.
are these not all the costs relating to the hire purchase? Just the installments and then the deposit. Is there anything we're missing? Sales commission, we did it here. Oh, yes. But I didn't do it because we have different sales amounts. Yeah, but we do need to do it. Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
I think you did the HP credits
Okay.
wrong.
Okay.
Because you're supposed to have like an installment section.
Okay.
That's how the back of the book did it. And
That's
I
how-
agree with it because
yeah.
when we're doing it in the exam, maybe we'll have to record like maybe 2 months installments or something. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to present my case and then
Sure.
we'll return to what the back of the book did. Which 1.2? For?
The depreciation.
Yeah, no, we need to remember depreciation is a non-cash expense. We don't lose any money. Is that you got that? So depreciation is something we do for SARS to reduce our tax liability. Okay. So this is what I want to ask. What did they do there with the HP higher credit?
Okay, so HP.
Did they use an amount?
No.
There's no amount.
Left it blank. So basically saying that everything that follows after that is related to obviously a higher purchase creditor.
Okay. So that's perfectly fine. So from a rand amount, we're the same. Okay. Oh man, there's going to be a very exciting discussion here.
Sure, go ahead.
So, guys, remember here we're doing the cash.
I looked at the hard way.
We're doing the cash budget. Okay. Now, this is what I wanted to highlight, which is what I thought you were asking. Okay. Now, obviously, when we bought this vehicle, it costed us 32,400, isn't it? Okay. Now, we know that cash left us when we paid the 10,800, isn't? And we know that we have installments of 900 a month. So in the breakdown, I thought maybe the textbook, for some reason, might have now put the balance of what is owed here in this cash budget, which immediately is obviously wrong. You haven't paid it yet, and that should not fall in a cash budget. That should be in your creditors. Does that make sense? That was what I was thinking we were going to get into a whole debate about. See where our minds are at in that regard. But yeah, maybe tomorrow. Let's see. Maybe tomorrow. Okay. So let's quickly plug in the dividends. We said dividends is on in February, right?
Yeah.
And how much was it?
10,800.
Okay. Right. So we have everything that we need for January, right? Before we move on to finishing off the sales commission, right, for the other months. Okay. Do we have everything that we need for January? Cash budget. In other words, this first column, we have everything, isn't? We haven't forgotten anything. So now here's the thing. We obviously need to deduct the relevant amounts, and once you've done that, you should get to this total here. All right, that's letting us know how much cash we have at the end of January. What are we going to use for our opening balance for February?
The closing balance of January.
Exactly. Okay. Okay, that's exactly it. All right, so here I'm going to quickly just highlight.
So is it possible for you to make the total cash available? Can you make that bold?
I'll try now for you. You said total cash available. Where is it? Here.
4. Yeah. So the whole line. Look at the numbers.
Yeah. Not a problem. Oop, there we go. Okay. Happiness. Right. You can even make this in green if you want, because that's money coming in, isn't? And then here we can do it in red if you want. Okay. How much is leaving us? But anyway, let me just do it for consistency purposes. Sorry, my mind will not let it go.
It's just easier on the head.
Yeah, no. This. Okay. Right. Then let's work out what is our commission for February. How much was our total sales for February? And this means we have to go to our
221.
Okay. You're giving me the actual amount, ne? Oh. Okay, okay. 221. You can give me the total sales. Sorry, man. I'm mixing you guys about. 221.
760.
760. Okay. So that's our total, and then obviously times 10%, 0. Or you just remove a 0. Yeah. Do it that way. And there we go. Okay. I just I'm recording, so I thought, no, let me show those who are going to watch this video at a later point. I'm making you guys famous. All right, whilst we're at it, what's the total sales for March? 110? 808.
No, it's wrong, sir.
Total sales for March is what?
253. 440.
Okay, 253 440. Okay, times 10%. Alrighty, and then we plug that in again for March. Okay, right, and then again we are copying the closing cash balance for February, and we're pasting it as the opening cash balance for March. Okay, there's no way in your textbook they're going to explain this. They're assuming that you guys know this from accounting 1A and 1B. So that is why I've spent a little time on it, just to remind you guys. Okay. Are there any questions? Any thoughts? Concerns? So when we add all those expenses, I'm guessing it adds up to the 136, ne? Okay. All right. So we're happy. Right. So this was the final thing that they wanted, Thomas. This is what they were asking for.
Yeah, I really laughed and I went back and put in the example 1.3 what a cash budget was.
Cool. So what I think we can do with the remainder of the session, yeah, actually we can also do that. We can also do that. So let's do it here. Let me just add a page. Final mark is what I will call this. Okay, so for homework, guys, I want you guys to do 1.4. I want you guys to do 1.4. I also would like you guys to take a crack at 1.8. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that for now. Yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. Okay, but just to finish up, so we know that we obviously have ice. Okay, and we know that we have test 1 and we have test 2. and then we have the exam, isn't? Again, this is going to be 10%. This is going to be how much? 25%. And test 2 is going to be 30%. And then finally, your exam is going to be 35. Okay, your ICE activities are already on VC Learn, already available to you. There is a due date. At this moment, I think it's the 6th of October. That may very well change because they haven't yet given their date when they want us to submit ICE. So if they tell me, I will then obviously communicate that to you. But usually they tell us, I just remembered I'm recording. Let me say less. No, I'm joking around. But yeah, as soon as they tell me, I'll obviously then let you guys know. Okay? And then maybe let me just kill this before we go any further. And then we'll look for